Hello people of the internet and welcome back my friends. As it is October, it's only logical to talk about the psychology behind the scarecrow. As a disclaimer, I want to mention that I am not diagnosing anyone, I'm just theorizing about the diagnosis of fictional characters. As a trigger warning, I want to say that this video will mention abuse and the act of taking your own life. So if those subjects are a bit sensitive to you, I suggest you skip this video.
The Scarecrow, aka Jonathan Crane, has been around since 1941. He first appeared in The World's Finest Comics issue 3. Jonathan is a professor of psychology who gets fired after firing a gun in class to illustrate a point. In the 80s, this story got expanded and it became clear that Jonathan actually hurt a student in the class, and that's why he got fired. The incident made him feel excluded from social groups such as his fellow professors and experts in psychology. Jonathan felt a need to fit in and belong to a group. He wanted to be part of the social elite, and to do this, he turned to crime. His first crimes consisted of him dressing up as a scarecrow by wearing a black hat, a trench coat, and a mask. He used his scarecrow persona to scare and threaten others in order to make them do whatever he wanted. Eventually, he decided to kill the people responsible for him losing his job as a professor. After this, he became a psychiatrist at Arkham Asylum. In the Nolan trilogy, it is known that Jonathan was not a kind professor. He would annoy his colleagues and he would describe his students as dumber than pond scum. He would also experiment on his own students by feeding them a hallucinogenic drug. After his appearance in the 40s, he disappears from the comic pages and doesn't return until 1955. It is believed that during this time period, Jonathan developed a hallucinogenic chemical toxic that invokes deep phobias within the ones who breathe it in. It is better known as his fear toxin. A lot of the crimes committed by the Scarecrow are justified by him as doing research about fear and his fear gas. As a child, Jonathan grew up in an abusive household. He lived with his grandmother, who was very religious and would abuse him. His father left him before he was even born, and his mom was very distant. She would show no love or affection towards him. Jonathan developed a fear of birds after his grandmother locked him up in an old building that was filled with birds. At school, Jonathan got bullied quite severely, which caused him to be in a constant state of fear. People would insult him for his looks and his more introverted nature. The boys would call him Scarecrow, and Jonathan took that insult back and now uses it as his alter ego. As if the trauma wasn't enough, he learned that his mother had given birth to a baby girl who she did love. Obviously, Jonathan felt very jealous of this affection. This all made him a lonely and cold person, just wanting to fit in a group or family that valued him. Jonathan developed some issues with vengeance and aggression as well. He ended up murdering everyone who harmed him. This includes his main school bully and his grandmother. After all the torment and fear he had suffered, he decided to study psychology and focus on specializing in fear. When Jonathan stayed at Arkham Asylum as an inmate, he decided to stop using his fear toxin. Other inmates would taunt him and say that he was nothing without it. However, this does not end well for those inmates. Jonathan used his training in psychology to drive 2 inmates into taking their own lives. This terrified the other inmates. He was even able to manipulate the guards into letting him go, proving that the Scarecrow is an amazing villain even without his fear gas. It also shows that one of his strengths is his intellect. His high intelligence becomes clear in the Arkham series. When Jonathan was an inmate in the asylum, he was treated by Dr. Kellerman. However, Jonathan would often act as if he was a therapist. He would write notes and he would tell Kellerman that fear is what drives people, using examples of Kellerman's personal life. He even managed to make Dr. Young believe he was innocent. Jonathan is an incredibly smart person who is able to strategize and manipulate others to do what he desires, and it's also what makes him one of the scariest villains of all. He uses his knowledge to hurt others, which makes him not only insane but also very sadistic. Besides his high intelligence, Jonathan also suffers mentally. As mentioned before, he struggled with an anxiety disorder, namely corvidophobia, also known as the fear of crows. He has been able to overcome this fear, only to develop a new phobia after encountering Batman, Priopterophobia, or a fear of bats. The Scarecrow has different beliefs about fear. He treats fear as if it's a religion which influences every action of our daily life. This belief expands, and later on, Scarecrow sees fear as a fundamental factor of life. Life would be meaningless without fear. This could explain why he wants to take down Batman. Batman induces fear into criminals. That fear would go away if Batman is exposed to be just another regular man. Another interpretation could be that Batman stands for hope. Take out Batman and there would be no more hope. This would place Gotham in a reign of terror. The last note on Scarecrow's psyche is his loneliness. Jonathan wasn't loved as a child, and he seeks that affection and validation now that he's grown up. In the Arkham games, he is seen working together with the Joker, Harley Quinn, Doctor Strange, Falcone, and many other criminals. He often seeks out groups to work with as well. The Scarecrow has a history of being a member of the Injustice League, the Injustice Gang, and the Secret Society of Supervillains. He even forms gangs. In Detective Comics issue 73, he escapes from jail and forms a gang of criminals to commit a robbery. This also occurs in the TV show Gotham. Although his story in the series is completely different, he does tend to work together with other inmates such as Jeremiah and Mad Hatter. He even creates his own gang. Jonathan has been alone for so long, he wants to belong to a group. He even values the opinions of his fellow criminals, which is seen in the incident where he talks the two inmates into taking their lives. In general, Jonathan Crane is a very intelligent psychology expert who has been so afraid all his life that he wants to learn about fear to overcome it. He is sadistic in the sense that he will hurt you just for the sake of hurting you, and he doesn't need weapons for it since his weapon is his mind and knowledge.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like these types of videos, please press that subscribe button and feel free to recommend a character you want me to analyze. With that said, thank you so much for watching and have a very nice day. Bye bye!